In this video, we're going to talk about the assumptions of the social approach. Now, first you have to understand that sociology and the social approach in psychology are two different things. Where sociology is talking about groups of people and groups of behavior, social approach in psychology kind of talks about an individual and how an individual relates to and behaves against groups or within groups as an individual. Some of these areas that we are studying here are things like obedience and authority, how close or far in a comfortable scale we are to, let's just say, our neighbors. Like, do you wave to your neighbor or do you like run over and give them a hug? Now, these assumptions, we are trying to understand the factors that influence our behavior in social settings. So the first assumption is that our behavior, emotions, and cognitions can be influenced by the actual, implied, or presence of others. So we don't necessarily have to be in front of those people. We could literally like imagine it in our heads or see it on TV or simply think about what the social norm is. Because, social norms literally change our behavior. And some people tend to mix up morality, personal morality, with social influences. And the second approach is similar to the first, but it's all of our behaviors, cognitions, and emotions can be influenced by a social context, social environment, social groups. And these types of groups can be anything from like a liberal's perspective to the dance team in your high school. Literally, like a group of people is multiple people that have something in common, or a thought process in common, or behavior in common. Basically, other people have an enormous influence on our own personal behavior, which I personally disagree with. But the more you realize that other people can influence your behavior, the more you can kind of like step away from that and like do your own thing. But we also have to realize that authority figures can influence us, like TV stars, pop stars, teachers, principals, our parents. And like, I know this may not be so popular with teachers and authority figures, but this literally goes to show that we tend to obey people. I mean, look at Milgram's study, who show authority over us. And this can be innate. I mean, possibly innate for survival techniques, but this can also be something that is more nurtured. I mean, how many of you grew up saying that you must listen to your elders? And I also want you to think a little bit about like your own behavior and how an environment can change your behavior and influence you. So let's just say you're at work and you have to dress a little bit more professional. You give a lot of handshakes. You are very prim and proper and standing up straight. And you use great language. And then work is over and you go home and you put on your sweats and you put on your video games and you use real foul language talking to your buddies. And I totally just realized that I had like a piece of pepper in my teeth, but I'm not going to change this. So maybe you'll remember it more because of the pepper. Or maybe you're going to want to go back and watch it and see if you can see it. Do you even agree with the idea that cognition and behavior is influenced by others? So the studies that we are studying here that I believe support this are Milgram and Pelyavin. So we have Subway Samaritan, although I kind of disagree with the fact that this was in an enclosed subway and nobody could leave, but it did influence people's behaviors. And there is an authority figure in Milgram. Perry, on the other hand, was looking a little bit more on chemical behaviors within the body, but it did show that we are more willing to be closer to friends than we are strangers. So if you like this video, go ahead and click the link below and see my other approaches.